my dear champions. I welcome you today to this yet another amazing session on exploring the secrets to exponential growth. Now, let me ask you this question. What kind of growth do you prefer? I assume most people would prefer an exponential growth, and that is an easy choice. But the bigger, tougher choice is this. Are we ready to pay the price today to live the life of our dreams tomorrow? Because we all know that there is no such thing as free lunch on this powerful planet. Let's first begin by understanding about the exponential growth. Exponential growth is a growth that increases at a consistent rate, and it is a common occurrence in everyday life. Exponential growth is extremely powerful, and it is one of the most important features of the exponential growth is while it starts off slowly, it can result in enormous quantities fairly quickly, often in a way that is shocking. Now, let me remind you about an age-old story about a wise man who won against a king, and he said that he'll be granted any wish that he wants. And he said, my wish is very simple, my lord. My wish is that you're very fond of playing chess. So my wish is that for every square which is there on the chessboard, the first check will have 1 grain of rice, the second will have double of that, the third will have double of that, the fourth will have double of that, and so on and so forth. So when this story came into picture, and whenever we listen to this story, we're always reminded of the fact that it's very simple and it's very little growth that we see initially, from 1 grain to the second, from 1 grain to 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. So the growth initially is slowly. But like the king, when he granted the request, he soon realized that the rice required to fill the chessboard as per this pattern was more than that existed in the entire kingdom and would cost him all of his assets. And this is what exponential growth is all about. Because the exponent or power increases as we go from square to square. The base value increases. And what it means is we start off with small things. We grow on them, we make it double. And then that quantity becomes the base for the next leap. And then when that doubles, then that becomes the base for the next leap. So it's not the rate is constant, but the base value is increases. Right? And when we talk about it in the graphical representation, exponential growth always looks like it's starting off slowly, and then rapidly becomes steeper and almost vertical because it's like double and it's huge. So this is what exponential growth is all about. Now, post-pandemic, I got engaged into researching and finding out what is more important for an employee as far as one's growth within organization is concerned. While working towards the matter, I carved out mainly 2 types of employment growth within the organization. One is the linear growth and other is exponential growth. And we also might have to take into consideration the concept of compounding to make this understanding much more relevant. So if we talk about compounding, it means little actions during respective stint lead to exponential consequences over a period of several years. Now, these consequences can be virtuous or maybe depraved, depending upon the actions you take. Now, let's quickly understand this difference and what it really means on a long-term basis with this little example. So let's understand a linear or versus an exponential growth in terms of the compounding factor. So let's take a quick example of 2 friends who joined the same organization. They started their career at the age of 25 in the same organization. So let's take an example of A and B, and the A out of these 2 friends, he decides to put in extra efforts in his work, saves extra money, and follows a disciplined schedule. B, on the other hand, is mediocre at work and just does enough to get by. Because he has to work, he gets the work done for just for the sake of it. And he never saves in life and has a very less discipline in life. And at the end of year 1, they're almost at the same position in the organization. They both have their jobs. A has some extra money due to his saving habits, but B doesn't care as he feels his job is eternal. B also makes fun of A for staying meticulous and so disciplined and focusing on the work. At the end of second year, A is starting to get a little ahead of B and gets a promotion for his performance, consistent performance, which is big results. His pay rises, of course, and he also saves more. So his savings start getting bigger and bigger. B, on the other hand, continues to be paid the same because of his performance which has been same throughout, and started getting jealous. He has little savings, but continues to take up more negative habits which worsen his own health and finances. After 5 odd years, A is extremely well ahead of B in his career and has a lot more money at his disposal. He buys a nice car, has a nice house. B starts feeling even more envious. His performance drops even further, and soon he is fired from his job. At the 10th year, A becomes a part of the C-suite of his company and is extremely well compensated. He is seen as extremely reliable and irreplaceable by his bosses and is idolized by his juniors. B, on the other hand, has destroyed his life further with his habits, which have not done any good to him, and is no longer seen as employable even. So he is bitter and frustrated in life and lives on the mercy of others. He keeps complaining to whoever listens and claims A became successful because he was lucky enough. Now, was it really luck that made us A successful, or was it the tiny efforts, those tiny extra efforts that he always put in every day of those 10 years that ultimately got compounded and led to exponential changes? I think wise listeners like you already know the answer. And like Albert Einstein also says, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So even someone as brilliant as Albert Einstein has called the concept of compounding the eighth wonder of the world. But always keep in mind that many times you won't get certain outcomes. Sometimes you need to go to extra mile for the short stint to get for this long stint to get the biggest benefits of compounding. So patience is required. Trust and belief in yourself and in your efforts is required. And of course, guidance from others is also required, and listening to them, taking their feedback about your progress is also required. So extraordinary work, what is going on in that extra mile is contributing to your exponential growth, right? So compounding is all about your small efforts over the period of time, giving you bigger results and better results. And who wouldn't want that, right? It's not a one-time great effort putting into something and then waiting for the result to come. It's every day. And soon, when you see the benefits out of it and you get into a habit of putting that extra effort, following these simple methods, you get into that feeling that becomes your lifestyle, that those attributes become your everyday guide to have your day around, have your work around, and it actually becomes a way of life. So let's together learn out and find our ways to exponential growth. If you're ready to learn some amazing ideas to transform your life with the help of these ideas and go on to those exponential growth, let's go ahead. Now, we also know that going into the exponential growth path, it actually positions us for peak performance, right? And we all want to do that. So let's get ahead and let's learn the first idea here. The first idea is emphasize on self-regulation. Now, what is most important is managing your emotions successfully, because what it means is that you will be able to respond to negative situations rationally rather than emotionally. So take time to think before you act is the first step towards success in any area of life. So taking charge of your emotions, good emotions or not so good emotions, both of them, and striking a balance between them is what takes you through exponential journey. So what really happens is that when things are good, we get overwhelmed with happy feelings, we might deter from what we are supposed to do. And then the exponential path or the exponential graph is disrupted. So in case we want to go ahead with this exponential growth, on this exponential growth path, it's important to take charge of our emotions and be self-regulated. That sounds good. That sounds sense. Give me a thumbs up. Great. Let's go on to understand quickly the second idea. The second idea is develop growth driver mindset. Now, people with the growth mindset welcome challenges and setbacks with open arms. Not only do they fiercely believe in their ability to master whatever they turn their mind to, they also outperform those without a growth mindset, even when they have a lower IQ or intelligence or information, because they have that zeal, they have that vision, they have that persistence to move forward and achieve whatever they can. So even if we find at one point of time that we are lesser in IQ or experience or any parameter that we are comparing, But if we compare it with our growth mindset and we excel in growth mindset, we will find ways to compensate and balance out things that are less in our life. If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Great. And because that is there, developing a growth mindset is all about welcoming challenges and setbacks with complete acceptance, because that is what gets us to grow forward, right? So let's get ready to welcome any challenges or setbacks, and let's find a way beyond them, the way after them. And that is all about growth mindset. So if you're ready to develop and implement that growth mindset, give me a thumbs up. Great. Awesome. Now, let me ask you this question. Can you recognize this boy? Take any guesses? I'm sure quite a few of you would have guessed. Well, let me tell you a little short story about this boy. So on June 10th, 1972, this boy was born in a city of 4 million, right? Chennai, to a couple of a lower middle class family. Now, the mother of this boy worked as a stenographer, and his father was an electrical engineer. Both of them worked very hard, day in and out, to make ends meet and support their kids. The family of 4 lived in a crammed up 2-room apartment. This young boy and his brother never had a room. They used to put in a thin mattress on the floor to sleep in the tiny, congested living room of their apartment. They never even had the simple luxuries of life, like a TV or a small car. So the boy was good at school, though. When he completed his school, he managed to bag a seat in one of the most coveted engineering institutes of India, that's IIT. He completed his graduation soon after. But this boy had a dream in his eyes. He knew that he had to keep pushing hard until he got where he wanted to be. He wanted to give his parents a good life, a life where they wouldn't have to hide money in kitchen jars to buy things for themselves. A life where they could live carefree and enjoy simple pleasures and be happy. This young boy knew, though, the road had just become tougher for him. But with his full might attitude, he even managed to bag a scholarship at Stanford University. But he knew that he would never be able to go to the university. It's quite difficult because they didn't even have money to buy a plane ticket to travel to America. He had achieved great success, but life decided to hold him back. He knew there was no way he could ever get on a plane to reach the university. He started to slowly give up and decided to settle for whatever he could. He knew he would never be able to live his dream. That is what he started to believe. But one day, seeing his persistence, seeing his complete commitment, his father came to him and handed him the money to buy a ticket to America. Yes, my dear champions, we're talking about Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Google. And what this story and this turn in his life teaches us to firmly believe and follow is stay goal-oriented and perseverant. Developing the ability to have clarity on the objectives that we strive for in our personal and professional life. Determining to keep on going in the face of setbacks and challenges. It is that inner drive that keeps you in the game when everything else says it's time to quit. Perseverance is the staying power to follow through and exert effort till the end to achieve your goal, dreams, and vision. And if we have that, a lot of resources around us will completely converge to our advantage, converge to our help, and we will get that kind of support. We will get that kind of way. We will find that light at the end of the tunnel if we stay goal-oriented and we have that kind of perseverance. So things will open up, doors will open. It's about our belief to stay goal-oriented, believe in that goal, and then keep trying. Make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Now, let me share something about another gentleman. Once upon a time, there was this young boy who passed his higher secondary when he was just 14 years, making him a child prodigy of some sort. So after he completed his education, he came to Delhi to study further. Now, everyone expected him to complete his college degree with flying colors, but when he faced the real world, he understood that it wasn't a cakewalk. He had completed his education in a Hindi medium school, and once he came to Delhi, life became tough. The first bencher in a school slowly started gravitating towards the backbenches, and in a short while was so disheartened and disillusioned with his bad grades, lost mostly due to, of course, language constraint, that he completely stopped attending college. Soon after he stopped going to college, he took up a job in an MNC, which he had to give up within 6 months. After one setback and another, this boy was determined. He decided to complete his degree and then start his own venture. After working 12 hours a day, he would learn English through online classes and then study for exams. His hard work finally paid off. Because he didn't give up. He followed the vision that he had. He followed what he believed within his heart. And this boy, this man, is Vijay Shekhar Sharma. His journey to success has not been an easy one, but he stayed determined to his goal, and that is still date his motto and the guiding principle for his company, Paytm. Today, Paytm is worth billions of dollars, and Vijay continues to be the most loved CEO. He's an inspiration to many, and he always propagated two thoughts that he believes in: never give up attitude, and teamwork makes the dream work. And why he believes in these is because he has that passion to develop this vision of himself, right? And not only he has achieved great personal success over years, but he has managed to garner the love of thousands of those who work in his organization, because people see him as somebody who is amazingly passionate. Vijay was able to achieve all of this because he followed his passion. And that's our fourth idea of the day, champions. Knowledge is often an excellent starting point, but relentless passion is guaranteed to drive you towards success. Pursuing something just because you're good at it and not because you're passionate about it is unlikely to get you to the top. So find out what you're passionate about, or become passionate about what you're working on, and then the success is all yours. Make sense? Great. So great learning. Moving forward, let's learn about the fifth idea. The fifth idea is develop resilience. Intelligence, of course, is admirable, but being unable to handle things going wrong is not. Rather than succumbing to failure, resilient people accept that something didn't work and go about finding a different and successful solution instead. They find out why it didn't do well, why it failed, work on the root cause, find a solution, and move forward. They don't stop. So, and they know when that attitude is all the more important when things are not going in the right direction. And they take complete advantage of this resilience within them, and they move forward. So this is the fifth idea that can take us to exponential growth path instead of just doing a linear graph. Now, let's move on to the next idea, which is something that we all know about, but yes, it plays a crucial role when we're talking about exponential growth, which is practice empathy. Putting yourself on the same page as your client or colleague will enable you to build rapport and reduce tension. Having empathy is the difference between saying, I understand your point of view and you're wrong, which will inevitably stop you in your tracks. So what is empathy all about is putting yourself into somebody else's shoes and feeling that pain. And by feeling that pain, you have greater desire and greater clarity and greater urgency to solve that pain area. Are you with me, champions? Yes, so that is what empathy is all about. And when we practice it in an ongoing basis, it becomes a part of our everyday routine, our everyday pattern of work, our everyday style of working. Then, of course, we have better clarity about solving issues, and therefore, our growth curve is no longer linear or slow. It's vertical, it's almost vertical, and it's exponential. So we are just overpowering, and we are just combating every single problem that is coming, and we are solving it because we have better clarity, better understanding of it, and better urgency than those people who don't practice empathy. And that's why we have greater desire and greater urgency to solve it. So that attitude definitely takes us forward. So that was about the sixth idea. Now let me share something about this amazing leader, Ratan Tata. He's an Indian industrialist and philanthropist. Now, recently he came to know about one of his employees who was not doing well since the last 2 years, and this employee had left the organization, a couple of years back. Now, the man had been getting in and out of hospital due to a chronic condition. And when this news reached Mr. Tata's ears, he immediately headed to Pune, where this ex-employee lives. And he went up to the society where this ex-employee used to live without any hesitation, made sure that he met that person, helped him in any way, manner possible, spent some time with him, with his family and everybody. This is the mark of a truly compassionate leader. And Ratan Tata could have easily forgotten about one of the hundreds and thousands of employees that worked for the Tata Group. But instead, he chose to undertake a journey of around 162 kilometers to meet the ailing person, ex-employee, and his family. And that is what is another beautiful, powerful skill that we can develop in ourselves, that we can inculcate in ourselves, that we can feel proud about being in us. if we really want to go on that exponential growth path, and that is developing social skills. We can network, function in a team, and bring people together, all whilst remaining focused. Having social skills means more than just being friendly. It means being emotionally capable in any situation. It ultimately means success, because when you are with people, people are with you. And that is a holistic system that we start building up, developing these social skills and being with people, especially in their difficult times, helping them out on those incidents, definitely helps build stronger bonds. And in today's world, it's all about network. And the stronger my network is, my exponential graph, my exponential path is sure to hit. So that's the seventh idea. And let's go quickly to our eighth most amazing idea, which is open to new experiences. If I really wish to go on that exponential growth, if I really want to grow exponentially, it must be added on with these new experiences. So if you're curious about how and why things work and are keen to uncover explanations, then you are 4 times more likely to succeed than your closed off colleagues. This is partially due to the genuine excitement you feel when given the opportunity to learn something new. And learners are leaders, and they never fail. Learners either become successful or they learn something, right? So it's a win-win in both the situations. So open to new experiences, never say never to new experiences and new ideas and learning something new. Always keep moving forward. So if this makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Great. So now, champions, it's time now to do a little recap of 8 ways to explore the secrets to exponential growth that we discussed today. These are simple ideas, starting with emphasizing on self-regulation. So focus on discipline, focus on also managing your own emotions, how to use them and how not to get overwhelmed with them, both happy and not so happy emotions. The second idea that we talked about was developing growth driver mindset, which is all about moving forward. The third is stay goal-oriented and persevere. Have a vision fixed, your sight fixed on the goal, and all the other resources will start pouring in when the goal is right there with you and you are sticking to the goal. The fourth one is being passionate. If you follow your passion, things will start to fall into place, and all the challenges, all the setback would seem like opportunities or solutions or different areas of improvement into our current scenario. Develop resilience and not breaking down, not quitting, just moving forward. And especially in times of crisis, taking everyone together and moving forward. Practice empathy was the next idea, where we have to develop that empathy about clarity about other people's situations, clarity about how we are moving forward, clarity about and urgency about solving a particular problem. And that really comes in when we operate from the empathetic place. The next was developing social skill, where we are connected with people, we develop our network, and we are able to be together with people and share experiences and extend our support and take support from each other. The last one that we discussed was being open to new experiences, because that opens new perspectives. And when we see challenges as new ways to learn, and we are always constantly learning, there is no way we can fail. And all these ideas clubbed together, when they give a compounding effect to us, we are sure to grow in an exponential way. So congratulations, champions. You are all set to win with these ideas. And want more such learning joyrides with us, we are most welcome to join us over LinkedIn, and we'll be happy to connect with you. My name is Yasha from Star Consulting Global, and I look forward to connecting with you for LinkedIn. With this, champions, I want to thank each and every one of you for making time today, for being a part of this session. And together, if we go forward by compounding the effects, by compounding the skills that we have learned today in this session, we will surely be exponentially growing, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the challenges are. I wish you all the very best, champions. Thank you. Namaste.